So we have department table. We took DID, D name, description. We took employee table. We have employee ID, employee name, employee salary, and department ID. We took one more, which is project. In project, we are going to take PID, P name, and DID. Okay. So if you observe in this, which is the unique column in this? Which is the column which is unique? Which is the column that cannot be repeated? The values cannot be repeated. DID. Okay. Because department ID usually will be unique. Can it be null if I'm identifying it as a primary key? Can it be null? No. So the first property of the primary key is it has to be not null and it has to be unique. Okay. Duplicates are not allowed. Unique key constraint before MySQL 9, MySQL 8 point whatever it is, till then, null can be allowed, but the duplicates are not allowed. Okay, that was the case for the unique, not for the mm, primary, I'm saying. So primary should be not null and unique. Okay, then in this table, do you have anything which is dependent on the like employee table? Is it dependent on department table? You see, in employee table, is there something that is dependent on the Vikas? Correct. Which is that one? DID. So here, this is the primary key, no? This I'll keep it as primary key. In employee table, what is the primary key? What is the unique item in employee? EID. So this will be primary key. But DID is referencing to which table? Department table. Means if I have 1, 2, 3 as department, employee can be belonging to 1, 2, or 3. 4, 5, 6, we can't do it. That's when we call it as, what do you call it? A dependency is there. Okay. That is second normalization, I guess. So this becomes the foreign key of employee table. So DID is the foreign key in employee table, which is referencing to DID in department table. Remember that. Okay. So all the orange color ones are what? Foreign key. And all the yellow ones are primary key. In project table, which is the primary key in project table? PID is the primary key. Is there any foreign key here? DID is the foreign key. So DID is also dependent on, sorry, project is also dependent on department. Unless you create department, employee and project will give you errors if you try to fill in. So even though if they have given you a structure wherein employee table is first, then department table, then project table, look at the tables initially. Which is the most independent table? Independent table, the table which is not dependent on anybody. That is department. So first creation should happen with respect to department only. Okay. Some people might say, no, I want to do it in this order itself. First department, then employee, then project. Or first employee, then department, and then project. Even though there is a foreign key dependency. That time, what you can do is first you just create the columns. Don't put any primary key, foreign key constraints. Later with alter table, you can alter. But we will go with the easy way. Okay, we'll take this as our example. Simple one. For your reference, I'm sending it here. Okay. So first I'm going to create a database. So the database creation is in the recording, this whole thing was not there. So I'll just do it once again. So we go to the workbench, we click on workbench, and then we click on this. Then we'll get asked for the password. I have taken it as a root. Then click OK. And then SQL panel will open. Here the first thing is create database name. So database name, I'm going to give it as October 21. Then use October 21. Okay. What I'll do, once look at the screen, I'll, wherever my cursor is there right now, I'll click on that. If you notice this, execute the selected portion. If you look on this, execute the statement under the keyboard cursor. Okay, first one is there now. I'll click this one, execute the selected thing. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. One database will be created, and probably see here, create database October. Now I will select this and then click on this. Okay. Now use database, that is use October 1. On the left hand side, it may not be visible. There is a refresh button here. Okay. Click on this refresh button. If you click, then you'll get October 21. No tables are created yet. If you put this one. Okay. Do this. Done.
Hello, ma'am.
Akash, done now?
Ma'am, like the starting one had network issues where you showing the schema thing. The
Okay,
left
okay.
side schema, I'm not able to view it
See here,
in my workbench.
left hand side, there is one administration and schemas. No, click on schemas. Are you able to click it?
So I'll check, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you are
Thank
able
you.
to see?
Thank you.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Once you click on this whole thing you select, you give it as execute. This button you click, and then there is this
Yes,
refresh
ma'am.
button. Click on that.
Okay,
You will
ma'am.
notice October 21.
So, ma'am, I got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So these two statements, whatever you have done, it came over here. These two. Hmm? ಇವಾಗ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಸೊ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿ ಐ ಡಿ ಡಿ ನೇಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಕೀ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐಲ್ ಡು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ semicolon. First is DID, next is DNAME, next is description. Since this doesn't have any foreign key or anything, I can just give here only while writing DID int primary key. Okay. Dname is a varchar of 50. Description is varchar of 50 or 100. Okay. Oh, ds is a command, no? So it is giving like that. This much, if it is written, give me a thumbs up for that particular image. Where am I putting the images? Oh my God, I'm putting images in, sorry. ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಇದು ಸಾರಿ, 1 minute. Instead of putting for y'all, I have put for third semester. They must be wondering what is happening. Okay. After this much is done, I'll copy all this thing. Sorry, I'll select all these things and then click on this execute selected position. If I click on this, then you'll notice that the department table is created. Select all these things and give this one. Okay. On the left hand side, on tables, can you elaborate that and see? On left hand side, tables. Okay. On left hand side tables, here refresh it. Once you refresh, no, this table will get this arrow mark. E refresh button is important. Sometimes this is dumb, it will not understand. So refresh it, click on this, click on department, click on columns. You will notice DID, DNAME, description. Let me know. Give a heads up if you are here. Great. So see, even if you do any changes, no, it will tell you here that last line is there, right? Output window. It'll show you some errors. So better you change everything here, not like your command line prompt. You can just select this and run it again. Don't run again because it will throw error again. So the next one is what? Employee. So I'll take the employee. In this we have primary key and the foreign key. Hmm? So what we are going to do, create table employee. And in this, we have EID int, and this is the primary key. I can write it like this also, or initially I'll do all the declaration, let us say, int EID, and then ename, and then esal, and then DID int. What is important is first to declare everything. If you want, you can give primary key here itself. But this DID int is also important. See, here if it is DID, which is of integer, here also it should be integer. Instead of DID, can I make it as DPTID? Yes, you can. not an issue. But the data type should be of integer because here also we are referring it as a foreign key. So if when you're going to deal with this, now two things we have to remember. One is the primary key. The next part is the foreign key. Primary key is nothing but EID. So that would be easy for you. But foreign key is which one? DID. And it is referencing which table? Department table. So understanding that part is also important. In this case, mm, few people prefer to write here as mm, some constraint name will be given, some name for the primary key constraint. So they'll give constraint and then space and then employee underscore, sorry, PK, that is primary key underscore employee and all. If I just want to give here primary key of that column is EID. I can do this. And whenever we are going to assign a foreign key constraint, we have to make sure that which particular table it is referring will be very important. What is the constraint? Foreign key. Spelling is very important. You might miss that. Foreign key in this table, which is the particular thing that we are referring as foreign key, that is DID. Okay. Now, this one references which table it references? Department table. In department table, which is the column it is referencing, this is the column. Okay. Now you might be thinking that why this was necessary, why it was necessary. You might be thinking if here I would have given it as DEPT ID, then here also it should be DEPT ID. Got it? Whatever you are going to give here, the column name, that will be here. Integer because in department table DID is also integer. References which table? Department table. In department table, what is the column name? DID. Okay, keep it like this only so that you will have a proper understanding. Now, if I select this entire thing, okay, and then click on this, employee table is created. Here, refresh it. When you refresh, employee table, columns, EID, e-name, salary, department ID. Okay, take this down. If this is done, no, let me know in the chat box. Basically, here instead of DID, I'm going to keep it as DEPT ID. Okay, this is done. The next one is what? Project table, no? PID, PName, DID. So that one you can write create table, project, PID, int, primary key, pname varchar 50 did int foreign key did references department of did. Run this, refresh project. If this is completed, let me know. Done, no? Okay. So project table is done. Now, directly if I try to insert something in employee table, no, it will give me error. Why? Because you have a foreign key constraint. I'll just show you. You need not do it, okay? I'll just show you here. For project table, I'll do. What I'll do, insert into project 1000, comma, um, robotic arm. Uh, yeah, Rishi, 1 minute. DID 11. This, if I run, no, it will throw error. So here it is showing what? So if I run this, here, can you see this? Cannot update or create the child foreign key constraint because 11 should be the department ID. Did we insert anything in department, by the way, in this case? Have you inserted anything into department? Because your project table is dependent on the department, your employee table is dependent on the department. Did we create any row for the department? We created table, but no row, correct? That's why if it is telling to map the foreign key, which is 11, which is not existing at all, how will you link? That is the problem. Okay. Rishi, see here, in project table, DID you have mentioned. Okay. In employee table, it was DEPTID. They had a different name. But in project table, the third column is DID. Means even in department table, DID is the column. So if you look at this, PID is the primary key. Sorry, P name is a normal column. DID is what? Department ID, which is linking to which table? Department table. In department table, which is that particular column? DID. So here what will happen? Whatever name you have given here, DID, will go inside the bracket. This is the foreign key. Which is the foreign key? The DID column of project table. References which particular table? Department table. In department table, what we are referencing? We are referencing the column DID. So in department, this DID. Rishi, got it? Yeah. Okay. So here now, when I'm trying to insert something to the project, unless and until there is a department with 11, I can't insert that column. That is how your foreign key constraint is maintained. So first I'll do insert into department values 11. What is the department table thing you see? DID, DNAME, description. So 11, comma, I'll give it as life science. comma, uh, all the tabs, syrups, drug. Okay. So in this, I'll first run the department one. I'll run this, execute it, see? So after running this, if I give select star from department, you should be getting some content. See here, 11, life science, all tabs and syrups. You're getting that. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll run this one. Once I run, that row is inserted because there is no error. Now, if you want to see whether it is error is given or no, if you notice, project is one row affected. So it is successfully completed. If I'm going to check what is there in the project, run this, you're getting 1000 robot arm DID 11. Okay, take this much. You can insert one employee also right now. So unless and until I insert some department, I cannot insert any employee or project. And also when I'm inserting any employee or project, this 11, if I'm giving in the project, that 11 should be existing in your department table. If I give 14, 14 is not existing, so it will throw error. Let me know if both the things are done. If it is done, tell me. Shall I proceed? Others? So instead of concentrating on insertions more here, we will concentrate on table structure. Okay. So we did what constraint? Primary key we did. Foreign key we did. Okay. So we'll try to do the default constraint or adding a column, deleting a particular column, something of that sort. So yesterday we did a few of the things to add, delete and all. What is the keyword that we use to add a column or delete a column? We used a keyword, no? What was that? If already a table was existing, correct. Alter. If already a table is existing, if I want to modify the table structure itself, then I'll go for the alter table. So for now, what we'll do, we'll create one dummy table, okay? I'll keep it as create table test. This test table will have one ID int. Hmm? That's it. If I run this, it has only one column. Okay. And that column is int. I refresh this. If you notice, test is having one column. Now, if I want to add one column, so I'll do alter table name. What is table name? Test. I'm going to add a column. So the column will be probably name. That will be varchar of 50. When I run this, if you refresh this, you got one more column called as name. Okay. Now, instead of name, I want to rename the column name to first name. Then what I'll do? Alter table test rename column name to first name. I'll run this. Now, if you refresh, instead of name, it became first name. Okay, take this down. Others, if it is done in the chat, can you give me a heads up on that screenshot? Otherwise, I'll not understand if you finished or no. Done. Okay. The next one is if I want to remove that particular column, like if I want to, no, not remove, modify one, instead of keeping ID as integer, no? If I want to modify ID to float instead of integer. So that would not be a good case scenario, right? What I'll do, add a column called as fees as int. Then what you'll do, alter table test add fees int. When you do this, what happens to the test table? You're adding something called as fees. See here, fees, which is of float. Now what you'll do, will modify the int to float for fees. We'll modify that int to float. So if you're going to do already existing data type, if you're modifying, alter table test modify column, what is that column name? Fees. Fees to float. Run this. So if I right click on this test now and click on select rows, you have ID, first name, fees. Then if I click on this in table inspector, if I do, then if you go to columns, here fees is changed as float. You can observe this one. Okay. To see this, what you have to do, right click on test, table inspector. Okay. Click on columns. Fees is float right now. If everybody finished this much, let me know. Now, if I want to remove a column, no, that fees I don't want right now. So I want to remove a column. Then you can use a drop. So alter table test drop column fees. If I run this, refresh here, that fees column is gone. They might also ask you a question for the next one. Like in case if you have to differentiate between primary key and unique key, what can be the cases? You can say that in one table, in one row, we can have only one column, which is primary key. But unique key can be multiple. Phone number can be unique, email ID can be unique, and so on. Okay, but primary key will be only one. Okay, if this is done, then we'll create one more. Uh, Create table student and make email as unique. Okay, so I can keep create table student ID int primary key, uh, email varchar of 50, and if you want, you what is that? Put all this constraint and then comma enter, and then you can give unique, which is the unique column email that will be in the bracket. So ID will be the primary key, email will be the unique key, means you cannot have two same emails. Take this down. Give me a heads up in the screenshot if you finish this one. Now, imagine you have already added, right now we have what in the student table, ID and ID and email is there. I will add column called phone number. Okay, so alter table student, add column is that phone number, no? Phone, I'll take it as int. Actually, phone number, if I take it as int 4 bytes, right? 4 bytes is not sufficient, I think. Either I can use a varchar or bigint. There is something called as bigint. 8 bytes. So if I run this, now refresh this, phone number is there. Now I want to make phone number unique, but I missed out because we just added a phone number, but I want to make it as unique. So make phone as unique. Then, since the table is already created, if I have to now add a constraint, then I can use alter table. Even to add primary key, foreign key, you can use alter table. So what you will do? Alter table, which is this one, student. When you're adding a constraint, usually you will add a constraint with a name or something. So add, you can give constraint UC, that is unique key, underscore student. What should be unique? phone number. If you run this, then phone number also will become the unique key. This usually is nothing but for this unique key, we have given a name. Tomorrow, if I want to drop the unique key constraint for the phone, I can drop by using UC underscore student. Okay. These are very minute. Most of the students will never go through alter table syntax. So if he is a really good interviewer, then his primary focus will be on the things that students are weak. So in 100%, what I've observed is 80% of the student fail in alter commands because they would have not practiced it. Okay. Now there can be one more question. How do you drop this unique key? Then you can use alter table student drop. Usually whenever you write anything with this kind of constant name, no, it is called as index. So index unique key constraint. Constraint means restriction.
ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಏನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ
Yeah.
ನಾಳೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು.
Pooja is in angry mood. If this is done, let me know. Okay. Now they will tell you like what is the difference between null and not null? What do you think the difference is? Null and not null. Null means by default, you have seen that description when you give some columns will be null. So imagine I am creating a table, my table. I gave here ID int name varchar of 50. Okay, this is what I have created. When I run this, you will notice my table is there, columns are there. Now, if I give describe of my table, you will notice null is yes, means you can provide null values. Both the values, if I keep null also, it is okay. There will be one entry being made, let us say. But what if this, I don't want name to be, sorry, I want ID to be not null. Primary key I'm not giving right now. I'm just trying to make one ID. ID should not be null. Then I'll drop this table again. That whole table will be gone now. Okay. Here I'm going to give it as not null. Okay. I'll run this again. I'll describe the table. See here. If I've given as not null, then 100% I have to provide ID. Without ID, if I'm trying to insert anything, no, it will give me error. So what I'll do, insert into my table values 11 comma some value. This is allowed. If I run this, there will be no problem. One query will be successfully executed. See here, insert is one row affected, no problem. But I cannot do like I will only provide for name, not for ID. I can't do that because we have given the constraint that ID has to be present. If I give something like this, you will notice here error. ID field does not have a default value because when you give describe table, what we have done, not null we have given. Not null when you give that default will not be there. That means 100% you have to provide some value to it. Can I do something like this? If this is a problem, can I put an ID and not put a name 99? This is valid. If I run this right now, no problem at all. If I give select star from my table, okay, here there is no problem because ID should be there, which is there, and your name is not mandatory. It can be even if you didn't provide it is okay because not null constraint is not there, no. So by default, null is accepted. So only if I want to provide ID, it is okay. But if I only want to provide name, it will give you error. This is important, okay? Not null constraint. Take it down. Let me know if it is completed from your end. Is it done? They might ask you a question like, what is the difference between null and not null? By default, null will be allowed if you don't mention anything. If I specifically want the user to 100% enter the value, like for instance, we have first name, last name. First name is not null because they have to enter the first name. Last name can be optional. Okay. I'm assuming this is done. Now, I want to change the default value, let us say. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll create a table called as my address. Here we'll give area, area ID, int, area name, varchar, city, varchar of 50. I want to give a default value to the city. By default, everything is null, no? For city, I want to give a default value. So we'll give city here itself, default. Okay. Once you run this, if you give describe my address, hmm. If you notice now here, for area ID it is null, for area name it is null, for this one, city it becomes Bengaluru. Okay. So how will I check whether it is working or not? Give values only to area ID and area name. Don't give value to city when you're inserting. So if I give insert into my address values 11, comma, area name ಅಲ್ಲ? This much only I'll do. And here I'm going to provide two columns because everything I'm not mentioning, only area ID, comma, area name. And then select star from my address. So if you notice, 11 is area ID, area name is Hazirgata. We have not given the city by the way. By default, it took Bangalore. Okay. What if I don't want Bangalore, I want Chennai? Then just override it. Okay. Now, when I run this, you'll notice that it is overridden. If you don't give anything, only then it will take it as Bangalore. Otherwise, it will be overridden. It's done. Primary key, foreign key, not null, unique, and default is done, no? Did we do auto increment? No. Okay. We'll do an auto increment, okay? Auto increment in the sense we need not bother about how many details we are going to add. Automatically it will be incremented. But there is a catch for that also. We'll look into it. Only two people completed this. Others, Soham Puja, only two people completed. There? Okay. So now what I'll do, auto incremental. Huh? So I'll do one thing. Create table data. So in data, what I'll make is ID, I will make it as auto increment. Okay. So I'll take it as ID int not null auto increment name varchar of 50. We'll keep this much. If this is the case, then how will I go ahead? That will be one issue. So here, if you want to give primary key, you can give primary key also. If you want to keep it outside, then you can keep it as primary key as ID. This is also valid. I'll run this. Okay. When you're inserting, I need not insert ID. I can only insert name. That's it. So what I'll do, when you give describe of data, okay, primary key is there, null is not there, extra what you have given, auto increment, it came here. Now, how do you need to insert then? Insert into data column names, only name, because only two columns are there, ID and name, in which ID is auto increment values. I'm going to give Jaya, Adi, Adya. Then select star from data. So if I run this, you will notice 1, 2, 3. So automatically the first data started with 1. Okay, you didn't give the IDs, but since you give just the name and it is auto increment, by default it will start from 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, take this down. If it is done, tell me. We'll do one check constraint, okay? People, if you're finding difficulty in typing, take this from the chat box. We'll do one check constraint. HackerRank, did you practice yesterday? Few things yesterday or day before. On the examples, did you try? Yeah, you were comfortable with the easy ones? Yeah, okay, good. Keep trying, okay? Don't stop it. By this week, you have to finish. That should be the target. Once I'll tell the check constraint. Check constraint is like, imagine if I'm allowed to vote only after 18. So what I'll do, create table eligible voter. Okay. And this guy, I'm going to take the input from the user, that is ID int, probably primary key. And the next one is uh, age int and name varchar. Okay. And I don't want the name to be null. He has to enter some data. Okay. Not null constraint. And what I'm checking, check if age is greater than or equal to 18. If this is my constraint, okay. So here, check will not be available here. When you're inserting, if I'm inserting a data, okay, insert into eligible voter values, I'm going to give 11, comma, age is 20, comma, 20 is greater than or equal to 18. So that is fine. And one name. This will be valid. There is no problem here when I run this. Okay. And select star from eligible voter. So when I run this, there is no issue at all. But if I take something like this and 12, because primary key I have given, name should be given, can be duplicate though, that they have not mentioned. Here, I'll make it as 15. Okay. I will only run this. So if you notice here, below, right, insert eligible voter BBB, check constraint is violated because what we have given, if he is only above 18, he should be able to enter. So this value will not be visible in your output because it didn't allow. Okay. Finish this. This DDL is a little tricky, so you might forget it soon. I would suggest you to go ahead and do at least 5 to 6 problems on each constraint in alter table, without alter table. Same constraint can be done using alter also. Usually that is the most preferred way. Okay. So what you can do is make sure that put this content and tweak in a little bit. First only table with the columns you put, and then start adding primary key using alter, foreign key using alter, constraint using alter, default using alter. Then you'll understand, not null using alter, because that is the way the interviews are being done. Let me know if this is done. Okay, now very important thing. I want you to immediately, after today's class, go to W3 schools, go to SQL. Okay. Today, finish this part. Now you will understand. Create, drop, backup, create table, drop table, alter table, constraint, not null, unique. All these things is there, no? Without fail, you finish it today only. Injection is not needed. Hosting is not needed. If you want to, you can go ahead. But rest of the things you will be able to understand right now. So no matter what, this one, once this is thoroughly done, then go ahead with the top ones. Okay. Almost 70% of that is completed at actually, but you do it on your own once again. Maybe evening or something, okay, whenever you get time. Once you do this, again go back to HackerRank and start testing. Then it will be easy. I wanted to also tell you one more thing. How many of them have GitHub account? Just give me a heads up for the chat, last chat. Okay. Do you check your here under the repository section, how many repositories are there and all those things? You need to have multiple repositories. It has to be active. Here also, if you look at overview or something and projects, here we need to add few of the projects with the collaborating purpose. That should be there. Okay. And if you click on the overview, you'll be having multiple projects. See this part, like Illy, because I have not added anything to this account. Here all it is blank, right? When they look into your GitHub, everything should be green lit. That means every month, at least 7 to 8 times you should have visited GitHub. That would be better. One more thing is LinkedIn. So in LinkedIn for your this thing, there is, see here, there is something called as project. So if you click on the project, your project name, project description, what is the skill that you have. Media means if you have a YouTube video or something which is related. Links for your GitHub and everything, you can add it here. Currently, if you are working on the project, check this one, start date, end date, contributors. Like imagine, Soham, are you in my this thing? GitHub, sorry, LinkedIn connections? Soham is because I keep looking at him in many of the thing. But what is the full name? HUM, I think, right? Huh. So if he is the contributor, then I can click him. So he will become one of the contributor. And then in association, what kind of, like, probably yours will be student of whatever college you are, SKIT, that will come into picture, that you click on it and save. Start date, start year. This should be more. When you go to your projects, these days people are checking your GitHub account and stuff. So better be filling out these projects. And in order to go ahead with these projects, if you're an individual contributor, it is okay. But projects which with multiple contributors will make more sense, is what I feel. That is one thing important. And there is something called as skills. In skills, you have to put whatever skill set that you have. You have to, like, if I want to have HTML, okay, then I can click on HTML5. That will get added. If I want CSS, that will get added. If I wanted MySQL, okay, if I click on this and then like at which particular thing, probably this one for your case, and then click on save, you'll be getting it. I'm just discarding right now. You can add any number of skills here. Keep it populated. Um, then few people about the batches is what they were telling, like completion certificates and so on. Like few of the people will be posting their completion certificate. It should not be too much also. Like there should now LinkedIn has become like Facebook, which I hate about it. Mm, not getting one also. Let me see which is that completion certificate if somebody has done it. Wait a minute. In your hacker rank, there are batches, right? See, these batches will be there, no? Like if you click on this, like whatever problem solving, anything, these kind of batches you will be getting, right? That batch probably they'll give you a certificate kind of thing. You can share to LinkedIn. This part is okay once you have completed. Or if you have taken any Udemy courses, like I'll show you one. Some Udemy completion certificates you'll be getting, right? Like this. Okay, once you have completed, no, your name and then it will give you one certificate actually. So if you have done some Udemy courses or something, if that certificates you get in hand, then you can put it in the LinkedIn. So all these things are important.